Days of Fright Horror Movie Project, Year 4.
Welcome to the 210 Nerds. As always, my name is Max James. It's October 7th, 2015, which means it's day 7 of the 31 Days of Fright Horror Movie Project, Year 4. And today's movie is what I mentioned yesterday in the Ex Machina video, where today's video isn't exactly horror, but it has a horror element. It's either creepy, it has the horrors of technology, like in yesterday's video, or a serial killer or something like that that isn't exactly horror, but has something you would see in the horror movies. So, and today's movie is Under the Skin, starring Scarlett Johansson. Now, before I kind of dive into telling you what you need to know about this movie, there's a disclaimer for this movie, because this movie isn't exactly for everyone. It really isn't. But I highly recommend watching it at least once, because it's great visuals. You got great music. There's very, very little dialogue, which means that you kind of have to put some stuff together in your mind, but it's very easy to comprehend. It really is. It's like, okay, that's what's going on. What else is there? Great story. It does have a nice, it's for like an hour and 40 minutes long or something like that. It is a very good movie. So, with all that said, I'm going to dive into telling you what you need to know about this movie. And first up is the plot. The plot of the movie is Scarlett Johansson's character. She is an alien. She is driving through Scotland picking up men to take back to this one place, and I don't want to tell you what they do to him, because I was extremely shocked what was happening in what happened. It was like, I'll just tell you, they're kind of, this isn't a spoiler, it's just kind of like, there's a nice long shot, a continuous shot of this guy kind of just floating there, and all of a sudden, bam, it's like, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but I was like, oh wow, this movie just jumped. Because I was like, okay, this movie's a little slow, even for me. And then all of a sudden that happened. I'm like, all right, you got my attention. And so she kind of continues in doing this for a little while throughout the movie. And so until she meets up with this one character that kind of changes her mentality. She was strictly go out, get men, bring back to this place, until she met this one guy with a deformity and changed things up a little bit. Now she kind of sees herself as human as the movie kind of went on. And so this movie has a big selling point. I do have to say that, because if you follow movies or anything, this movie is the movie where Scarlett Johansson gets naked in it. But it's done well because she is an alien, and she is kind of just looking at her in the female form, and she's very curious about this, which makes for some great scenes, because she's just staring at herself in the mirror, and it's like through eyes that she's never seen through before, so which is pretty cool. And so, and which leads to chaos. It really does. And through this really unexpected ending in the movie, and which I enjoyed. This whole movie I fully enjoyed. But like I said, it's not for everyone. Now, the reason why I put it in this collection for this year is because the horrors of the unknown, or the trusting people. Because the way she picks up these men is like, she just pulls up alongside him in this vehicle and is like, hey, I have no idea where I'm going. Would you tell me where I'm going? And then they try to tell her. It's like, well, she just kind of like, she kind of plays dumb a little bit. It's like, well, you just get in the vehicle and show me. And then as they're driving, she kind of throws in, then she finally kicks up the charm even more, and it's like, hey, would you like to come to my place? And stuff like that. And so it just kind of escalates from there. And the scare factor is trusting. That's basically what it is. It's kind of like The Thing. You don't know who to trust, and obviously the person who you shouldn't be trusting is in a beautiful women forms. So I was trying to find good words to describe this. But other than that, I like this movie. I really did, because it's very interesting. It has great visuals, like I said. The acting, there's very little acting in this movie in terms of dialogue. It's all body and facial, because there's a scene where she finally lures this one guy into the place of death, basically. She is just walking. That's all she is doing. She's just using her sexuality to lure this guy further and further and further into this building, and the guy is not even realizing that he's sinking further and further into the ground, and while she's getting further and farther away. So it was just amazing. I like that scene. And there's just great visuals. I cannot stress this movie's visuals, because it is very great in that department. The music is really good, because there's very little dialogue. So it has to have some good music as the score. What else? The scare factor. Scare factor is the trusting. Who don't judge a book by its cover, basically, because evil comes in all forms and shapes and sizes and beauty and whatever and whatnot. And so that's really all I gotta say about this movie. I know, like I said at the top of this video, this movie is not for everyone, but I highly recommend at least one viewing. Just one. Then if you like it, well, I bought it. I thought it was a great movie. So that's really all I gotta say. My name is Max James, and I'm going to go geek out.